Snow. Remember, tend to your boots when we return.
Be still. Such is life. Of course. Yeah.
I'll uproot you! Who do you think you are?
Is it my time?
Can't see? Let's nip that in the bud. One with the forest. And shroud. I hear everything. One thing after another.
We got our arses handed to us. I say take it as a sign.
Is this really okay?
I told you I could do it using the leftover funds from the original deposit. Don't tell me you're afraid that I cheaped out on the dress.
No, not at all. I have only the fullest faith in your work, Miss Chiori. I'm just in shock, that's all. It's always been my dream to wear a Chioriya boutique dress for my wedding. I really thought the chance had passed me by.
Ooh, is that lady the owner of Chioriya Boutique? We've never seen her before.
I'm a woman of my word. If I say I can do something, then it'll be done. The first rule of business is to always keep your promises. Now, remember to not fold the gown, or store it under direct sunlight. I'd recommend only taking it out on the day of the wedding. But from the look on your face, I can tell that may be a little difficult for you.
Oh, I'll try my best. Once he sees me in this, his jaw is gonna drop straight to the floor.
Are you here to check out the offerings?
Sure are. Oh, Paimon's Paimon, and this is the Traveler. You're Miss Chiori, the owner of this boutique, right?
That's right. Oh, Navia told me about you. Glad to make your acquaintance.
Oh, we've heard a lot about you, too. Chioriya Boutique is super famous in Fontaine.
Well, I appreciate the recognition. Is there anything you're looking for exactly? We're out of kids' clothes right now, I'm afraid.
Hey, Paimon's not a kid.
Oh, that. Well, if news of the event has reached your ears, I suppose the Fontaine Apparel Association's advertising efforts have paid off.
Are there any fun and popular activities that we can take part in?
Ugh, Fashion Week isn't what I'd call fun. But it certainly always attracts a crowd. It's a fashion extravaganza that only takes place once a year, after all.
Will you be showing off some of your designs, too?
Of course. All designers at the Court of Fontaine use the week to advertise their brand. If you're lucky, you could even land a large amount of orders as soon as the main show ends. Come to think of it, it was also at a previous fashion week that our label first took off.
Aren't you pretty much an established name now? People will still buy your clothes even if you don't participate this year, right?
Yeah, that's not quite how it works. While many people buy clothes for fit and style, the fashion industry also strongly values a label's artistic vision and creative direction. Why would anyone patronize a label that hasn't even bothered to put out any new designs for the year? In the end, fashion is just a representation of the spirit of the times. People support your brand because they support the vision it represents.
Huh. Okay, so maybe fashion's more complicated than Paimon thought. All that complicated stuff aside, you're saying we'll be able to see new Chioria designs at the show?
Absolutely. The designs have already been finalized. I'm just waiting for the fabrics to arrive.
Ooh, are you using materials you can't get in Fontaine?
Well, I still have a certain partiality to Inazuma-made fabrics. The textures are pleasant to the touch, and their familiarity gives me a sense of security.
Oh, Paimon gets it! It's that feeling of home.
Ugh. Something like that. Yes.
We're a long way from Inazuma, though. Aren't you concerned that your shipment might get lost or stolen along the way?
No need to worry. I've already taken steps to ensure that it'll arrive safely. I've entrusted the job to Komani Express's most reliable courier.
Excuse me! Coming through! Coming through! Chiori, your shipment's here. I know it's quite late, so I'm really sorry.
Deep breaths, Kirara, then start again.
Oh, so Kirara's the courier you were talking about.
Oh, hey, Traveler and Paimon. Fancy seeing you here in Fontaine. It's been a while. Wait a second. This is the second time that you've seen me flub a delivery job now, isn't it? Oh, you somehow always happen to catch me off my game, huh?
So, what was the holdup? Sailing delays, bad weather?
Huh? No, nothing like that. I just ran into a bit of trouble, that's all.
Bandits, then? Or treasure hoarders? A few run-ins on the road aren't usually enough to give you any trouble.
Well, I didn't run into anyone exactly. I just got a little lost.
Keeping you honest as always, I see.
All right. I was stopped by a group of bandits as soon as I entered Fontaine. They were a little different from the ones I usually run into. I could hear them mumbling about Komani Express. It was obvious they were looking for someone with two tails.
So it was a targeted hit?
I got the sense that they were actually targeting Chiori's goods.
My fabric shipment?
Yeah, they said that I could go as long as I left the goods with them. Otherwise, they'd stuff me into my delivery box and toss me into the sea to drown.
Hey, yo!
Oh, are you okay,
I'm
Kirara?
watching YouTube.
Oh, I'm good, I'm
not paying
good.
attention.
I'm still a yokai after all. I turned them over to the guards. It just...
Well, it's not completely out of the ordinary for one of your deliveries to get intercepted. But it still doesn't make sense how you knew it was my goods they were after. You've got other deliveries to make in Fontaine, don't you? Is there something else that you're keeping from me?
Huh? Well...
Perhaps I need to reconsider how many stars to give you in my review.
You always know how to get me, Chiori. Alright, I'll talk. So, I kinda wanted to know why anyone would order a hit on me, so I spent a bit of time investigating. One of the bandits had a loose tongue, which saved me some time. He said that a certain person had commissioned them to intercept Chioria Boutique's delivery.
And who might this person be?
Chiori, why don't we just let this one go? I mean, I didn't really get injured, and you've still got Fashion Week to worry about.
I appreciate your kindness, Kirara, but if I don't teach this person a lesson, I doubt they'll stop here. Anyone that dares to mess with one of my friends deserves a stern talking to and then some.
Alright. The guy said that the commissioner was someone by the name of Uter.
Uter. No, that name rings a bell. Wouldn't you say, Kirara?
Well, that's exactly why I didn't want to bring it up to you.
So you both know this Uter guy?
Through Chiori's complaints about him, sure. Miserable as possible.
Oh, so he's like a business rival.
A rival is what you call someone who fights you fair and square. Uter, however, just has it out for me as a designer. He's publicly disparaged my design choices, my use of materials. He's practically tried every trick in the book to ruin my good name. I've already warned him before to compete with me fair and square, but I guess he prefers playing dirty. Well, I'm more than happy to oblige.
Wait, Chiori, where are you going?
To teach someone a lesson. You must be tired after your long journey. Why don't you rest in my shop for a little while before heading back?
Chiori! Wait!
And she's gone.
Oh no. What should we do?
You seem concerned. Should we be worried about Chiori?
Well, she's always been the type of person to face things head on. But with her fiery temper, I'm just worried whatever she's about to do will feel negative publicity about her right before the start of Fashion Week. Traveler, Paimon, could you go after her and check out the situation for me? As a formal employee of Komonia Express, it wouldn't be appropriate for me to get involved.
Yeah, we'll take good care of Chiori.
To be honest, I'm more worried about that Uter guy's safety.
We'll see if people are trying to do this dungeon. If they are, we'll farm 4 times. be streaming. Hey, I have Raiden on a side account.
There is no escape! Horn to oblivion!
Amazing!
Shine down! Fall back and await my orders. Detached. Come again.
We're gonna get our asses kicked in, boys. Let's go. Let's do it.
There is no escape! Off we go! See?
Testing my gauges.
The mortal plane of fleeting dream.
We'll meet again.
I'm getting sick of this. You're not fighting alone.
Kamisato Aki. Suiyu!
Yeah! Let the mountain's veins boil!
We'll meet again. My day.
Check this out.
Be still.
Best of luck.
Never testing my patience. Let's end this now.
Is it my time? Journey is over.
Kamisato Aki. Suiyu!
Dissipate.
Any chance you're on the clock, officer?
Nothing good ever comes out of you addressing me like that. Oh? And who are these two?
So you came too? Allow me to introduce you. These two are the Traveler and Paimon. This officer over here is Shavras, captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
The Special Security and Surveillance Patrol? You mean that organization where everyone carries a musket?
Well, I wouldn't say everyone on the patrol uses a musket. I just happen to have formed a platoon made up mostly of musketeers.
Whoa, Chiori, Paimon didn't know you went so far back with such a cool person!
It's nothing. In my line of work, it's not uncommon to run into some trouble every now and then. And she's helped me get out of a few sticky situations. In return, I've helped her take care of some things that you could say aren't exactly in her purview as the captain of the Special Patrol. And that's how we got to know each other.
It's nice to meet you both. I have to say, your reputation precedes you. So, did something happen?
Indeed it did. I'll need you to come with me.
I only ever hear that phrase from you. Usually I'm the one asking people to do that.
Well, are you coming?
Not before I know what you're planning.
Have I ever made a bad call?
The better question is, have you ever made one that didn't violate proper procedure?
Okay. A man hired a group of bandits to mug my friend. I'm about to go teach him a lesson.
Are you sure this is something you should be telling the captain of the Special Patrol? It's getting hard to tell whether you're here to report a case or turn yourself in for one.
Neither. I'm requesting personal supervision from said captain, so I don't do anything too out of line.
Are you planning to?
Not if I can help it.
All right. Where is this person?
Follow me.
Just promise you'll start trying to keep yourself out of trouble.
Well, when trouble stops coming my way, I'll be sure to get on that. This should be the place. You all wait here. I'll go have a chat with him.
You know, Shavraz, Paimon gets the sense that you two are actually pretty close.
It's just as Chiori said. We got to know each other pretty well in our lines of work. You could call it a you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours sort of situation.
Does Chiori often need your help?
I'd say it's mutual. The Special Patrol needs her help quite often as well. We've got tough problems of our own. Getting people to talk, for example. The uniform, the musket, they're intimidating. Most people clam up the minute they see us. Lips sealed so tight, getting them to talk almost feels like trying to break into the fortress of Meripede. But put them in a clothing boutique, and they suddenly start gushing faster than the waters at the Fountain of Lucine.
Oh, is it because they're trying to show off or something?
Yep. People are vain creatures. They can't help but want to talk up new developments in their lives or show off how much they know about other people. And nothing brings out that sort of vanity quite like fashion. As a result, Chiori often picks up on all kinds of information in her shop. Most of her customers are members of the upper class, which means they're pretty much up to the gills in wealth and intel.
You scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. Huh, Paimon gets it now.
Exactly. I'm also here to ensure Chiori's safety. Those who make trouble for her also tend to be rich and powerful. And in some very rare cases, I'm forced to protect other people from Chiori herself. So, who got on her case this time? It's been a while since I last saw her that angry.
Oh, so this is what happened.
Uter, you say?
You've heard of him?
Yep. He's made trouble for Chiori several times already. He's fond of pretty much every dirty trick in the book. I heard that even the Maison Gardiennage issued him a warning due to his behavior. So he's back at it, huh? His funeral, I guess.
Whoa, what's this about a funeral all of a sudden?
I just meant that Uter's done for. Now bring it in, you two. Get right up close.
Sure, but why?
Because this is probably going to turn into one of those very rare cases I just talked about.
What are you doing? Stay away from me!
Has anyone ever taught you the definition of stupidity?
Huh?
Stupidity is doing the same meaningless thing over and over again. It appears you've forgotten what I told you before. So, allow me to refresh your memory. Lay off the dirty tricks. Oh, and if you dare lay your hands on my friend again, you can expect a far less pleasant landing next time.
Ahem. Chiori?
Officer, an assault's in progress! Please, officer, you've got to do something!
Of course. I'll do my utmost to investigate the situation. Unfortunately, I was chatting with this traveler and seemed to have missed what happened. Not to worry, though. If you'd allow me to search the scene, I'm sure I'll be able to collect some useful evidence. You don't mind, do you? There's nothing in there that would implicate you in any illegal activity, I would hope.
Forget it. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Ms. Chiori, I must also ask you to refrain from engaging in such disorderly conduct in the future, especially out in the open like this.
Apologies, officer. I guess you could say I'm just used to tossing out any trash I come across on the street.
You...
Is there anything else either of you have to say for yourselves?
That's all from me. I sincerely hope that today's events will never happen again.
We'll see about that.
Bro wants his ass to be
Whoa,
kicked.
that scared the heck out of Paimon! How
Such
did he just
incredible
go
strength.
flying out like
Such
that?
a graceful arc.
You're too kind.
Now's not the time to be accepting compliments. What happened to not doing anything too out of line?
Oh, not if I could help it, is what I said. And I think I kept to that. I started with a verbal warning, but he displayed neither shame nor remorse. If anything, he kept running his mouth with insults and threats.
Insults and threats so bad that he deserved to be tossed out like a sack of trash?
Believe it or not, they
what
were
he
that
is.
bad. He deserved to get knocked down a peg. It's the only way to get him to stop.
You could have reported him to the guards.
Oh, I will. But it'll take some time for them to gather evidence. And he denied that he ever had anything to do with those bandits. I don't want anything else to happen during Fontaine Fashion Week. On top of that, if Kirara is going to continue delivering goods for me, the least I can do is guarantee her safety. Oh, that reminds me. There is another favor I'd like to ask of you today.
What a shame. I believe you've already used up your favor quota for the day.
Have I? Well, it's a good thing I was planning on taking an advance on tomorrow's quota then.
Don't you think you're maxed out on advances already?
I always pay you back in information, don't I? It's just like you said. You scratch my back, and I scratch yours.
If you press a leaf between dry sheets of paper, you can make an attractive and handy bookmark.
No. I'm going too far down.
Keep up.
I think I'm soft locked. Now we work our way to the quest one by one.
Whoa, the infirmary is packed!
There's
Please,
only like
you have
4
to believe
people.
me. I saw it with my own eyes last night. Another me. He looked exactly like me.
Got it, okay. I've written down
So
everything you
just
told
look in
me.
the mirror.
Now, I have a few tests to run. Take a deep breath, and don't worry, it's nothing to be nervous about. First, which finger am I holding up?
Your index finger, but I'm telling you, my mental state is fine. I'm not crazy.
Very good.
Crazy.
Now, on to the
Crazy,
next.
crazy, crazy, crazy.
Hey there! Your Grace, it's been a while, huh?
Ah, it's you two. Indeed it has. I would offer you some tea, but I'm afraid the timing is unfortunate. Duty calls.
No worries. Actually, we were looking for Siegeween. Do you, know what all of this is about?
This inmate came running to the guards in a panic, claiming to have seen his exact doppelganger.
A doppelganger? Doesn't that just mean someone else kinda looks like him?
And that's what I thought when the report first reached my desk. But we've inspected our records. No one even vaguely resembles him. Considering how certain he is of what he saw, I can only surmise that he's having some mental issues. So I brought him for a medical evaluation.
Alright, very good. Take a sip of water and rest for a bit. Evaluation complete. I couldn't find any symptoms pointing to a physical condition.
I see. So do you still believe there's more likely to be an issue with his mind than his body?
I have to assume so for now. Psychological issues are more difficult to detect. At this stage, we can at least confirm that he is in command of his cognitive faculties.
The rumor mill will go crazy if word of this gets out. Guards, take him to the ward for a period of observation. The Marechaussee Phantom has requested my cooperation on the case, otherwise I'd deal with this myself. Sorry for the trouble, head nurse, but I'll have to leave this to you.
No problem, Your Grace. I'll add him to my observation list.
By the way, we have a couple of guests here who've made the trip just to see you. I imagine it must be important. You probably won't need to add them to your observation list, though.
Oh, Traveler! Paimon, it's you! out, but...
I'll be in my office if you desperately need me. Goodbye for now.
Okay, bye-bye! So, Seedween...
Would you mind waiting for just a moment? I have another patient to see. Just find an empty bed and take a seat. I won't be long.
Oh, sure!
Sejuin, we've brought him. And he seems to have taken a turn for the worse again.
Okay, don't panic. Let's start by sitting him down here.
Paimon had no idea how busy
shit.
it can get for Seedween. Maybe now's not the time to ask for her help with skincare.
Patience, Paimon. She'll help us. We just need to wait.
Good point. Besides, it might actually be interesting to observe her at work.
Well, this could hurt, so I suggest you take a deep breath first.
Did his face melt? What happened to him?
It's anyone's guess. His face melted off shortly after arriving at the fortress. But since he's a serious offender, he can't be allowed out for medical treatment. Best we can do for now is ask the head nurse to give him something to manage the symptoms. Oh, this is gonna be awkward. We still need to bring him to the Marechaussee Phantom for questioning. What if he scares them half to death? Will that be our fault?
The Marechaussee Phantom? Does this have something to do with the case Risley's dealing with?
Yep, it was a huge case. They bagged a few dozen crooks in one fell swoop. And this guy's the baddest apple of the bunch. He harmed countless people. And now, it looks like it's all finally catching up with him.
You done gawking?
No.
Not yet. I need to check the severity of your ulcers to decide the right dosage. Don't worry. We Melazines have a very different sense of aesthetics from humans. To me, he just looked like a little kitty with slightly scruffy fur, but still just as cute.
Don't patronize me. Do I look like a kid to you? Just give me the meds and let me out of here. I already missed my cell.
Hey, lose the attitude. You dare talk back to our head nurse like that again? Your days are numbered.
Oh, it's fine. Okay, I'm going to apply the medication now. Tell me if it hurts, all right?
Look how nice Seedween's being. And he still talks to her like that? What a nasty piece of work.
Can I leave now?
Got him.
Wow, not a peep. What a brave little guy.
Thank you, Sejuin. And I apologize for the trouble.
So, Traveler, Paimon, did you bring the ingredients?
We did, but we don't want to interfere or anything. You're busy saving lives here.
Oh, don't be silly. I agreed to it, didn't I? Just hand me the ingredients, and I'll make some time to whip it into the improved version for you. Take a rest here if you want. Or, if you're not tired, I hear they're holding a new pancreation tournament in the administration area.
Or alternatively, is there anything we could help you with, Seedween?
Take it as a token of gratitude.
That's right! Let us help you out! It's the least we could do!
The least.
Good point. Kind-hearted humans start to develop guilt if they accept free help from others.
Hey, I ain't
Don't worry.
kind-hearted.
I'll take a look at my schedule. I'm sure I can find something to treat this condition. I gotta warn you, though, it'll be tiring work. So I suggest you take a break first, then come back and see me when you're ready.
The value of knowledge cannot simply be quantified in monetary terms.
We're ready, Seedween! What's our first mission?
I found the perfect job for the Traveler. First, I'd like you to lie down in this bed.
What for?
I need you to pretend to be sick.
What? Oh, is it that difficult? I thought you did a pretty good job last time. Oh, so you knew. I sure did. He was way more interesting than the usual malingering inmates. And you played along very well, Paimon. I observed you two for quite a while after that. Well, this is awkward. But why do you need us to do it again now? No time to explain. My next patient will be here any second. Please just do as I say. You can, pretend like you've got a nasty headache. And throw in some dry heaving for good measure. Okay.
Hey, Doc. It's me. I'm only here because my mom won't stop pestering me about it. So annoying.
Well, your mother has enough on her plate with a busy job. Well, the last thing she needs is to worry about you being sick as well.
I know! I shouldn't treat the place like a playground. Shouldn't go swimming in the lower levels where we join up with the sea, because it'll give me a cold and distract her from her work. I thought I'd be able to have some fun here at the fortress for a few days, but it's always, don't do this, and don't do that.
All right. Sit yourself down and I'll take your temperature. Your fever still hasn't gone down. Well, here's your medicine. 1 cup for starters, and we'll see if it helps.
But Doc, it's so bitter. Do I really have to drink it? I mean, I'll be fine, right? I've got an uncle who caught a cold. His fever went away on its own after a couple days. Can't you just write me a note saying I'm on the mend? I just need something to keep my mom off my case.
I sure can. You're a very brave boy after all.
Huh? Brave? What makes you say that?
Well, if you want to rely on your own immune system to clear up your fever, then you'll have to tough it out like this guy. Hang in there, traveler! Are you gonna puke? Paimon can get you a paper bag!
Huh?
As long as you're tough enough to get through the nausea and dizziness caused by the high fever, you'll be right as rain after just a few days' rest.
And if I'm not tough enough?
Hey! Wake up! Put it this way. At least you'll never have to see the doctor again, right?
I think maybe I'll take that medicine after all.
Oh, of course. Here, it's still warm.
It's so bitter.
All done. Great job, you two. That kid really doesn't know what's good for him. His mother's a guard here. She's been working back-to-back shifts lately. But unfortunately, his father's away on a business trip right now. She had no choice but to bring her son here for the time being. He was quite happy at first. He seemed to think that the Fortress of Meripede would be all fun and games. So you made us put on that act just to scare a kid into taking his medicine? That's a pretty sneaky trick. Seems like there's a whole side to Siegeween we never knew about. It's a technique I learned from my teacher. Oh, you had a teacher? Was she a Melazine doctor too? She was human. She passed away a long time ago. Oh, sorry. No, it's fine. I really liked my teacher, so it's always nice when I get to talk about her with other people. She was a traveling doctor, and since she didn't have a clinic, she'd go out and visit her patients wherever they were. Dealing with the badly behaved ones was her specialty. She used to say, if you can scare the little brats into taking their medicine, you won't have to hear them wailing and screeching when their condition gets worse. Huh, she sounds like a pretty strict teacher. Strict? Well, that's not how my teacher saw it. She thought of herself as terrifying to kids. Strange way for a doctor to describe themselves. Now Paimon's curious to know what she looked like.
Oh, as it happens, I actually have a picture of her.
Yeah, that would scare me if I was a kid.
Oh, wow, yeah, okay, that'll terrify the kids.
Yep. All the children she treated thought she was a witch.
Witch?
Why does it almost sound like you're envious of her?
Oh, because I am. If she was here, all the children would take their medicine without any need for tricks.
A doctor who looks like a witch. True, they wouldn't dare try anything funny with her around.
Oh, me, on the other hand, it's hopeless. Children aren't afraid of me at all.
That's actually a good thing, you know?
Oh, my next patient should be arriving now. Would you mind lending me a hand again?
Sure thing! On to the next mission. Is it nighttime already? That flew by. You really have a busy job, Seedween.
Well, thanks to you two, it was much easier today.
Aww. Should we get some rest? It's getting pretty late.
Oh, there is one last thing. I have to keep it confidential, so we usually leave it till after everyone's clocked out.
Confidential? Are you sure?
Well, it's fine. You're not living here anymore, so it's okay if you know. All it is I have to prepare some ingredients to make healthy meals with.
Wait, you mean those healthy meals?
My patients refuse to eat any healthy meals I prepare in front of them, so I have to prep the ingredients in secret, then let the chef at the Coupon cafeteria handle the rest.
Considering even the chef's version makes people uneasy, it really makes you wonder what's in it.
You want to find out? I can teach you how to make it. That way, if you ever suffer from exhaustion on your future travels, you can prepare a healthy meal for yourself. It's real.
Sure? Guess we can help out.
The ingredients are ready. Now, put them on the table and add them in the order I tell you. First, we add this special slime condensate. Stir it thoroughly, then pour it in. Oh, see that? It adds elasticity. It looks just like tasty jelly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. Until you remember it's slime condensate.
Next up, xenochromatic crystals. You want to crush them up into a fine powder, like powdered sugar.
Wait, are those from Fontimer Aberrants? Are you sure they're edible?
Finally, we'll need some high-protein meat. Frogs are an excellent choice. You just need to clean their innards, and then you're left with some lovely, tender meat.
Oh! Frogs.
And we're done. All that's left now is to pack them into lunch boxes and hand them to Walsey. Yesterday in the production zone, I noticed an inmate who's been working for 2 days straight. That means it's a healthy meal for him tomorrow.
Seedwing really does have the inmate's best interests at heart.
Poison.
Keep up.
Ah, head nurse. Got some extras for me?
Just the one today. The serial number's on the lid.
Sounds good. I'll make sure it gets delivered.
Sounds like they're talking in code. Thanks for your help.
Oh, it's no trouble at all. I only wish I could do more. You work so hard for all our sakes. I'd happily lose a little sleep if it meant helping you out.
That won't do. If you reduce your sleeping hours any further, your health will start to suffer.
All right. Nurse's orders. I'll do as I'm told. But you take care of yourself, too.
Well, I'm done with work for today. Thanks for helping out, you two. Seems like the guards and staff here have a lot of respect for you, Sea-Dream. In just one day of helping you with your work, it feels like we've done a lot for the fortress.
Head nurse, please, wait. I'm sorry to disturb you this late at night, but I think you'll agree. This is...
Okay, just relax and catch your breath.
The guard at the observation ward, Odilon, he told me to pass on a message to you. One of the inmates there, the guy suffering from possible hallucinations, well, he seems to have made a sudden recovery, and now he wants to apply for permission to leave the ward.
Already? You were right to tell me. I'll have to examine him and make sure he's well before we discharge. Looks like we've got one job as medical assistants left.
Keep up.
Head nurse, you're finally here. I'm so sorry for all the trouble I've caused you, but I believe I've now made a full recovery. After giving it some thought, I'm sure that I was probably just seeing things. It's stress-related, I imagine. I'd been working long hours, so I definitely wasn't in the best...
I totally understand. Still, I have to give you an examination before I can discharge you, okay? So, take a deep breath and don't be nervous. It'll be the exact same procedure as we did this morning. We can start whenever you're ready.
Again, so sorry. I was in such a state this morning, I barely recall anything. Would you mind taking me through it again?
Oh, not at all. It's a lot to remember. First up, we have a little cognitive test. Just concentrate and you'll be fine. To start with, which finger am I holding up?
Your pinky.
All right. All indicators seem normal. So it was a stress-induced hallucination at... Well, we've certainly had previous cases of mental illness caused by overwork, which is why I carefully observe everyone in the production zone. I wonder how I managed to miss this sign.
Please, head nurse, you shouldn't blame yourself. I'm just still adapting, that's all. Pushed myself too hard, and I guess I couldn't take it. Thanks for looking after me. I'll be as good as new after a good night's sleep. And if you can give me the okay, I know I'll sleep better back in my good old dorm.
It can be difficult to relax in an unfamiliar environment. All right then, you can leave the ward. I suggest you take 2 days off to focus on your recovery. I'll take you off the observation list for now, so you're officially discharged.
Great. I can't thank you enough, head nurse.
Mr. Odilon, could you escort him back?
Of course. I'm on guard duty in the administrative area tonight, so nothing will go wrong. You have my word.
Guess you're finally done for the day now, huh?
Yep. But I still haven't gotten around to making that improved lotion for you yet.
Oh, no rush! Seriously, it's super late now. You should go get some rest too.
Well, tomorrow it is then. Good night, Traveler. Good night, Paimon. Hope you sleep well.
Oh, don't you worry! We will! After a productive day of work, we're both gonna sleep like a log. Yeah, sleep tight, Seedream. See you tomorrow!
Drugs, more drugs. I didn't take my pills today. I hope I'm okay.
Paimon really did sleep like a log. Let's go find Seedream.
Why am I here? I am not very observational. I did not notice that they had teleported me.
Whoa! How is the infirmary even busier than yesterday?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Good morning, Traveler and
7,
Paimon.
8.
I have a few people here for a checkup, so you might need to wait for a while.
No problem. Anything we can do to help?
There's a bit of a complicated situation here. I'm still getting to the bottom of it myself.
You have to believe me. I'm telling the truth.
You're in a medical facility. Keep it down.
You're a horrible liar, you know that? We get all your mugshots with the arrest warrants. It's clear as day that you're Gascon.
You mean because of the way I look? I don't know what happened. I just woke up like this. Then you guys dragged me in here for an interrogation.
I brought you here to figure out what's going on. If you truly are the victim of an injustice, yelling isn't going to achieve anything. At most, it'll delay your vindication.
All right. I get it.
This is nuts. Yesterday's interrogations went fine, and now this.
Morning, Your Grace. What's going on?
Remember the case I mentioned yesterday? The one brought to me by the Marechaussee Phantom? Well, we've been questioning the inmates involved this morning. Every single one of them is claiming mistaken identity.
Huh. That's even weirder than what that guy was saying yesterday.
The thing is, none of them have been able to provide any evidence whatsoever to support their claims. Questioning them further got us nowhere, so for now, we've brought them to the infirmary.
And we thought yesterday was as busy as it got for Seedream.
We've compiled their statements. Have a look. Perhaps there's something we missed.
Okay, time to read. Platon. Who is this Platon? I'm Henrik. I had applied to go out and see a doctor, but when I woke up, I was in another cell. Unbelievable. Gaston. I'm not Gaston, I'm Hood. Today should have been the final day of my sentence, so I should have gone free. What gives? I'm Eric. Why does stuff like this always happen to me? Now there's no way to reach my papers again squared away today. My name is Odon. I'm a guard. I think I was attacked. This isn't me at all.
Wait.
Release? Interesting. The inmates they spoke of in their statements appear to all be due for release today.
I noticed that too. If that's their plan, they're underestimating us a little. Every serious offender claims that there's someone else who just so happens to be due for release today. And they're expecting us to go along with that.
All the more reason to be cautious. Lumberzar, check the release list for today and make sure no one gets processed. We're gonna need an excuse, though. Just say we're out of forms, and that we're furiously printing more as we speak.
I'm on it.
It's conceivable that our group of serious offenders somehow found a way to switch places with inmates who are about to be released, so they can walk out right under our noses.
We did consider that possibility. But I mean, just look at them. They match the warrants, period. How could there have been a switch?
Only if they're dead ringers for the inmates due for release, I suppose. I gave you that name list yesterday to assist in your investigation.
Yes, the inmates' mugshots were attached to the list. The first thing I did was check for lookalikes, and I didn't find any. The only other thing that stands out to me is that their voices sound a little different today. But it's not exactly hard to put on a
Oh, really?
Give me a moment. I think I have a way to confirm whether they're... I know, it's not time to change your dressing yet, but please...
Huh? Isn't that the guy from yesterday?
This should be Honore. He has very severe facial ulcers, which require an operation in the hospital at the Court of Fontaine. I authorized him to leave the fortress for medical treatment under...
Yes, like I told you. I'm not Putton. I'm Honore.
So there has been a swap. Well, I can see what happened in Potton's case, but how do you explain the other inmates? You're not telling me their souls switched bodies.
No, I believe it was their faces that got switched. The method is a bit like replacing a tooth. Take the bad tooth out, put a false one in. And actually, I think I can... Traveler, Paimon, do you remember Eric from the other day?
Yeah, sure do.
Then you can be my witnesses. To start with, please fetch the inmate...
You.
So, you're Eric?
Yes, head nurse. It's me. You do believe me, right?
I need to do another examination on you. Same procedure as yesterday.
All right. It's the cognition test first, right? So I need to concentrate.
Now, try to recall if you can. The last time we did this test, which...
I believe it was... your index finger.
But that means...
There's two Erics. It wasn't the same person.
Huh?
So, basically, last night, the Eric who said he saw another him suddenly recovered and applied to leave the observation ward. Seadwing did another test before letting him leave, but that time, she held up her pinky finger.
Huh? I don't know about any tests last night. There was nothing to do in the observation ward, so I went straight to bed. Then I somehow woke up in a high-security cell.
Well, in that case, there is a reasonable explanation for the strange events of the past 2 days.
So, what exactly happened?
The gang of serious offenders wanted to break out of prison, so they identified a group of scapegoats, namely inmates whose terms were almost up, and planned to switch appearances with them. Last night, when Odilon was on duty, they ambushed him and had one of their group switch appearances with him using their face-swapping method. That allowed them to avoid scrutiny from the other guards. Then, once all the other inmates were asleep, Odilon spent his night shift carrying out the remainder of their switcheroo plan. However, they made one mistake. Henri changed his appearance to match Eric's earlier than he should have done, and ended up being spotted by the real Eric. Real Eric came to the guards for help, but we didn't know then what we know now, so we put it down to hallucination and sent him to the observation ward. However, since one of the gang members was posing as a guard, they simply changed real Eric's appearance and had their Eric take his place, muddying the waters even further.
Right, because I put Eric on the observation list by then, and no inmates on that list can be processed for departure until I've discharged them.
Hence why the imposters had to pull that little stunt to get fake Eric off the list.
Yeah, it all makes sense now! The Duke cracked the case!
It makes so much sense now. Wait, what about the other people?
Well, I can't fault the reasoning. But I'm afraid that we ruled out the possibility of face switching very early on in this process.
Criminals altering their facial appearance to commit crimes is nothing new. In fact, one of the explicit duties of the Melazines in the Marechaussee Phantom is to identify criminals in disguise. We carefully examined all the suspects, and there is no evidence that any means of disguise were used in this case.
Huh. Well then, how do we explain all this?
So far, it seems more likely that the gang stole documentation belonging to the inmates due for release, and are using that to commit identity fraud.
Actually, there is a potion that can completely change someone's appearance. If they use that, even a Melazine wouldn't be able to detect it. A shape-shifting potion?
Forgive me, head nurse, but this is the first time I'm hearing about it. If such a potion truly existed, it would jeopardize our entire investigative process at the Marechaussee Phantom. Are you certain of this?
Yes, I am.
But...
Please, trust me in my professional opinion as an experienced clinician.
At the same time, without any solid evidence, it's pure speculation. If we can round up all the inmates suspected of switching places, then have a little talk with both sides, we might just... Yep.
Okay. Well, it was our negligence that meant we had to come and conduct these post-internment interrogations. And I know it's put you out. We'll do it your way.
Your Grace, bad news. I paused the releases like you asked, but we were too late. A bunch of people already got processed 2 hours ago. I checked the list, and sure enough, it's all the people who gave statements.
2 hours ago? That's before today's interrogations began. They had this all planned out.
So there really was a switch after all. They really pulled the wool over our eyes on this one.
We should be able to catch up with them if we leave now, right?
Not if that potion is real. They can just switch faces again after leaving the fortress. And if the Marechaussee's Melazines can't even spot them, we wouldn't know where to start searching.
Yikes! So we're at a complete dead end!
Well, technically there is one more. We were only able to arrest this gang thanks to the help of a researcher from the Fontaine Research Institute.
Oh? Rawat? Isn't that the handsome guy we met at that skincare promotion?
Handsome? Maybe from a human point of view. I just remember that he specialized in potions. One of the crimes this gang is charged with is the manufacture and sale of illicit drugs. According to Mr. Rawat, they appear to have stolen technology he developed through his research and used it in their operation. At first, he thought it was a typical case of intellectual property infringement, and he tried to negotiate with them. But once he discovered their criminal operation, he reported. Thanks to his report, we were able to swoop in and arrest them.
What a hero! Bet that took courage on his—
No doubt. This is worth following up on. As the one who snitched on them, it's highly likely that Rawat will be targeted by the— That aside, since he's negotiated with them in person before, there's a chance he'll have some additional information.
Understood, Your Grace. My team and I will head to the Fontaine Research Institute right away. In the meantime, please keep an eye on the face switch victims for us.
Of course.
Miss Morgan, I'd like to come along and help—
Huh?
Well, I'm the one who discharged the fake Eric last night, so I feel partly
Don't say that, head nurse. Your focus was on the inmate's health, and rightly so. We can't ask you to help with arresting criminals. That...
I also have a more personal reason. Potton is a patient of mine, and if I don't get a new batch of medicine to him in time, his condition will get much...
Look, head nurse, I completely understand where you're coming from. But arresting criminals is dangerous business. And if anything happened to you...
Don't worry, I can defend my...
You say that...
If I may, Miss Morgan, Sigewinne is the one who raised the potion hypothesis, and I'm sure she has far more expertise on the topic than your team. And if you really are worried for her safety... Ah, there you go, right on cue.
Well, since this plan has the Duke's blessing, far be it from me to refuse. We should head off immediately. Time. Greetings. Sorry to impose, but I'm afraid we're here on urgent business. And we're gonna need you to cooperate.
The marsh is a phantom. Let me guess, you're investigating some more illegal research?
Not this time, no. We're looking for a researcher.
For what? Oh yeah, Mr. Handsome, right? He actually doesn't work on site here very often. There's a handful of researchers in the nearby area who know him pretty well, though. You can see what they know.
Just a handful? Paimon figured he'd be the most popular.
Well, I guess you could say he's popular, at least on a superficial level. He's blessed with good looks, so he tends to make a good first impression on people. But in all his time here at the Fontaine Research Institute, I don't think he's ever had a single deep conversation about his research with his peers. That's no way to make real friends around here.
That's so weird. He definitely didn't come across like a recluse at that product promotion.
I don't find that weird at all. He definitely didn't strike me as the kind of guy who's, good at making...
Really? Paimon couldn't tell. Must be a Melusine perception thing.
Okay, we should talk with his acquaintances. But we also need to check the Research Institute for any clues.
Sure thing. We'll go ask around among the other researchers with Sigewinne. Paimon's suddenly kinda curious to know what everyone really thinks of him. Excuse us, are you Audrey?
That's me. What is it?
Are you close friends with Rawat? We're trying to find out where he is.
Close friends? You mean because I told him I had feelings for him once? I doubt I'm the first or last at the Institute to make that mistake. Why would you single me? I should have known, really. Men like him, they just enjoy being surrounded by fawning women. They're not interested in a serious relationship.
Okay. We were just kind of wondering if you might know where we can...
Why would I know where he's at? I barely know him, and he probably doesn't even remember me.
Ugh, this is getting annoying. Shall we go ask someone else?
I think she knows Rawat better than she cares to admit. If we leave now, it might...
Maybe, but we're not going to get much out of her while she's in...
She's displaying symptoms common among people in love, if that's what you mean.
But It's curable?
Oh, we're still no closer to finding Mr. Ruwat. Oh, by this point, he could be in grave danger.
Danger? Wait, why are you looking for him again?
Oh, that's right, yeah! The Marshosei Phantom said that he's been targeted by some pretty bad people. We need...
What? How has this happened? He seemed fine when I last saw him, and that was only a couple of days ago. Just happened to run into him.
Oh, I see. Well, do you have any thoughts on...
Okay, but this is purely out of concern for his safety. If he's not at the Institute, he might be at his mother's. I heard she raised him alone, that they had it pretty tough financially, and these days she's housebound due to illness. He makes regular trips back home to check on her.
Oh, okay. Do you know...
Nope, sorry. I only found out the thing about his mother because it came up in conversation once. I was just trying to find out more about him, so I could get to know him better. When I told him I had a crush on him, I offered to help him take care of his mother. And yeah, maybe that was a stupid idea, but did he really have to yell at me for it? It's like, fine, I can take no for an answer, but what's with the temper? Unbelievable. These guys only want to show you their charming, well-groomed exterior. They can't stand it when a few home truths shine through.
Looks like her love syndrome is flaring up.
We need to find out Mr. Ruwat's mother's address. Let's check with the Marshosei officers when we regroup.
Cool, sounds like a
We're done for today. I might stream again later.